This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. Sai Ram. Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and the place where I'm speaking from is the place where devotees have had the pleasure, the blessing, the fortune of being in close proximity of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Sathya Sai Baba's presence one can feel even now after he has taken away his physical appearance away from here, but he is everywhere. Love all, serve all. And messages of Baba are not only read everywhere, but you meet people who practice these principles taught by Sathya Sai Baba, and even in his absence, you see all the activities starting from Nagar Kirtanam in the early morning, as well as other services through hospital, educational institutions, worships going on, flow of devotees coming and receiving all those services. And of course, some internal assurance from Baba is also palpably felt by devotees. It is my good fortune to be here at Puttaparthi, and I have also the pleasure of the presence of R J Ratnakarji, who is one of the 9 trustees of Sri Sathya Sai Trust. I welcome Ratnakarji to this small conversation for our viewers, and as many of you are aware that R J Ratnakarji is also fortunate in another reference that he is son of the younger brother Janki Ramanji of Bhagwan himself. So I really feel many of you are also interested in knowing his point of view as you were growing up and as a child, when you see that your uncle or someone who is related to you is divine manifestation. What kind of feelings or response child you had those days?
See, by then I am born into this family. Bhagwan's glory was already spread to the most part of the world. It is not that if we have grown with it. Perhaps my father, they would have had the chance to see how it unfolded. But by then, I am born in 1970. By then, people from all over the world used to come to Prashanti and seek from his blessings. For us, we are born into a family where we find already a master who is presiding over your family. We are introduced to him by our parents, and it has been a very, very wonderful journey all along, right from our childhood. The kind of wonderful feeling that we all had that we have Bhagwan in our family. With that, the feeling of the joy, the feeling of that secured family, a strong family in which you are born. We had a really lovely childhood, and in fact our college days, our university days, all have been in Bhagwan's institutions, and really he touched us and we grew wonderfully well, very joyfully, very happily in his loving care.
One question which many devotees or sadhakas have most of the time in their life, trying to find how form and formless aspect of God are one And so in your case, it must have been either more easier than others or more difficult than others, because here is a form and you're also related to this form, and then realizing or feeling him everywhere, as many devotees, even while you were a child, they were feeling. So was there any point when you kind of realized, call it a wall, or this thin line of form and formlessness?
As we have been associated with him directly, it is definitely the form had a great relevance to our lives, because for every issue we could talk to him, we could take his guidance, we could take his blessings. Even sometimes he could even come and tell us, admonish us and say, so loving. That attachment to that form is always there. Even now we do feel that. In fact, it was not easy for us to feel that formless feeling, because it is not like any other devotees. Maybe it's like devotees in America, devotees in Europe, in different countries, different part of India, where they come once in a way, but rest of the time they are in their own places, praying to him, not seeing him directly, and Swami giving his presence felt with them in their families, in their lives, their individual selves, or whichever way. But for us, every day in and day out, morning, evening, we had to interact with him. We had a good fortune of seeing him daily. Morning, when he comes for darshan, evening he comes for darshan, we have a word or two with him. So that kind of a bondage is existed. So it is more difficult for us when to say that wall which you are talking about between form and the formless, because a sheer association with him in this form is definitely has, and it's wonderful, really. The tenderness, the softness, the kindness with which he deals with, not only with us, with every individual who comes to Prashanti, how much love they feel, and how much blessed they feel, and kind of direction they get to their lives. It's amazing. And maybe a small child, maybe is a big officer, maybe is a politician, maybe is the head of a state, maybe is a very highest bureaucrat in the government, or he may be just a commoner. But when he is dealing with each individual, how wonderful it is to watch him just forget what he is and talk to President of India in the same way, talk to a primary school child, then go into a darshan ground, see a common man, then talk to him, console him, take a letter from him. See, it's a great spiritual experience. So for us, yes, form has been very important. We do miss him. But now that we cannot see him physically moving about, and ever since he left his physical body, we tend to feel him more and more in the form of the devotees who come and flow here. That is the duty which he has given to us. Today, we see him like you were telling in the introduction, love all, serve all. Love pervades this whole place. Prashanti Nilayam is a place of love, place of service. And for us, every devotee, every person visiting Prashanti Nilayam, be it a man, woman, be it a gentleman, anybody for that matter, we feel they are very form of that very Bhagavan which whom we interacted. We see him in every individual who steps into Prashanti Nilayam, because we feel he is representing them and he is coming in the form of them that we should serve. That is the duty which he has given to us. So, for us, form has been very important. Form is still, we do miss it a lot. At the same time, now he is making us feel that formless, that divine experience. Even now we really we feel very blessed, because just other day the Guru Purnima day was there, when you sit in the portico and watch the hall, the darshan hall, nobody can make out that there is Baba is not physically present. The whole hall is reverberating with the devotion. The hall is full. It's just overflowing. The way when Bhagavan is to be there for darshan, they clamor, they go, they stand outside the compound wall just to take a glimpse there. It was the same sight. You know, we were very pleasantly surprised to see the whole Prashanti was buzzing as if he was sitting. And let me tell you, I think there's a feeling of every devotee who was there on that day that Bhagavan is very much present with us, and he's making and he's assuring us in many ways, and this is one of the ways where he assures us again and again that he's not gone anywhere, he's very much present with us.
He's very much present with us. When Ratnakarji says that, this expression carries a deep conviction and the glow of joy, or a kind of deep assurance which you have been blessed with comes across when you share your experiences. I'll sidetrack a little bit, and if I remember it correctly, it was when Bhagavan was a school student, probably 14 years or so, when he declared he left his school books, and now we draw a parallel between him being at 14 years and you being at 14 years. This is a little bit of formulative year for many individuals. In your case, when you were deciding as to what course of action your life should take, did you in some way sought guidance from Bhagavan?
This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas.
Personality which I don't think that humanity will get to see again. It's incomparable to anyone, and what he has done at the age of 14, none in this world can ever think of or dream of having to do, for simple reason. How could anyone say at the age of 14 to his family members that whole world belongs to me, I have a work to do, I have my devotees waiting outside, I have come here for emancipation of humanity, I have come here to give succor to those who are in need and who are in looking for grace, looking for direction in their life. I have come here to lead them. A 14-year lad telling this to a family and say, sorry, I don't belong to you, I belong to the whole world. I don't think it will ever happen once again in the history of mankind. And we are fortunate to have witnessed that, and we are fortunate to have been come face to face with a person who has seen himself right from the day one. It's not, perhaps some of our family elders used to tell us that it's the 14 which he declared that he is, and he was walking out of a family home. But much before that, they have witnessed many miracles and many prophecies which he was talking maybe from the age of 8 or 9. So I don't think we are anyway, it's a phenomenon which it's unparalleled in human history. And more so, the Prashanti Nilayam which you saw today, maybe when you come into the hall, where Mahasamadhi rests in a sort of a portico in the front. He's inaugurated this Prashanti Nilayam at the age of 25 years. When he was 25 years, at his 25th year of his life, he has inaugurated this Prashanti Nilayam, which is going to be a spiritual seat of power for the entire world. So what he did in lifetime of 85 is not so easily humanly achievable in maybe in hundreds of years. So he is incomparable, he is the one and the only, and there is nothing which is similar to him which we can compare to. But as far as we are concerned, we had no concerns about our lives because it was already in the hands of a very nice family where my parents and they were associated with already. So we were born into a very lovely surroundings. So we had no concerns of that sort at all. What we are going to do and what is going to be future like. We didn't have to think much about that. Fortunately, I think God saved us from all that, and we had a lovely time.
So Ratnakarji is right in saying that there is no parallel that can be drawn with his life and others. But just I was looking at it from the way the physical form grows 1 to 3 years that way.
Yes.
So now having some idea about the way it was flowing for you, then you ended up deciding to pursue financial management
Yes.
at Sri Sathya Sai
Institute of Higher Learning.
Right.
I completed my MBA in 1991. Then under Bhagwan's instruction, I joined a company. He said, you should have some working experience. I was there. In 2003, my father's demise brought me here to stay, and Bhagwan instructed that I must continue to stay in Parthi and to be with him, and he would instruct from time to time what to do. So from 91, after 91 till 2003, I was away. Away in the sense, I was a student earlier, maybe after MBA, I worked in some few companies. Then every weekend, any holiday, it is for our favorite destinations, Puttaparthi, Swami is here. Otherwise, if he's at Whitefield, then almost on every day. So yeah, that connectivity, that pull, it always remained fresh, and it always remained ever powerful. So when in 2003, October, when my father passed away, under very different circumstances, Baba had a fall in August. So that's the day when my father called me and said, Baba had a fall and you come over here. So within 10 minutes I wound up everything and came back to Prashanti, and what unfolded, the destiny was totally different. Within a month I lost my father. Then I stayed on here almost what I just locked my apartment and came here. 1.5 years I could not go back. So many things happened, but Baba has guided us and taken charge of our life, and we were happy to be play any role which he directed us.
Direction of Baba, if you receive, you are definitely fortunate, you are blessed. And that sense of bliss which flows through pure love, one can feel not only on the faces of the people, but also in the form of the remarkable monumental buildings, elegant, warm buildings right here in Puttaparthi. They're beyond imagination. I'll just mention about one building and I'll seek your impression about this. I had the pleasure of witnessing many places in Puttaparthi. That includes a wonderful hospital. There is a hill on which there is a huge Hanuman statue. There is a stadium. There are many things, and there is one music college. The building itself is so creative. Both sides you see the formation of tabla, and then there is guitar, huge guitar. As if this building tells you right from the exterior that it is full of harmony with what it stands for. Now, I wanted to talk to you about the hospital in particular. I heard that one day he declared that in 1 year he's going to inaugurate such and such kind of a hospital. And even now, if you see the hospital, it would be difficult to believe that even a couple of years one can get to the stage where such a hospital is available to serve people. Now, his resolve indeed, it's beyond human comprehension how
Yes.
it happens. Share with us your experience. It's amazing, wonderful, unbelievable the way things are happening.
Yes. His resolve to do a particular thing does not come from a human strength. That resolve to do a particular thing for people comes from completely a different source, which is a divine source, and it's a divine strength with which he talks and which he makes a resolve. It's impossible for a normal person to come and announce in November 22nd and November 23rd during his birthday that I will build a super specialty hospital spending 100 crore rupees and I will inaugurate it the next year before birthday. Just 365 days. And on that day when he made announcement, there was no drawing, there was no discussion where the place, no place was finalized. What does it look like? And nobody knows what is a super specialty hospital in this part of area, in this region. And Sathya Sai institutions have not had any previous experience of putting up super specialty hospitals, how they should look and what it contains. Nobody had any idea. It almost took a couple of months for people to finally decide on a place where it should be built, and meanwhile the drawings, and it's not so easy to build such a beautiful structure and huge one that too. You have to plan a very big engineering drawings. It involves a whole lot of drawings. Nowadays, for a project of that size, if you ask anybody, they may take 6 months time to even give you complete engineering drawings and architectural drawings and every bit of it. But when he said that, perhaps it is some unseen forces which act, which maybe only at his command, which we are unable to see. Because when that word is given, there is enormous strength that pumped into each individual who is associated or working for that project. They perform not 100% but 200%. So they don't know how they are doing and what they are doing, but there is so much of strength is given to each individual who is working or associated or participating in their work. So works get done very fast. In fact, that's the finest monument which is really serving poor and needy today is built in less than 8 months.
Amazing.
And true to his word, he did perform his heart surgeries as he declared on that day, and we have really beautiful records on that. Who were associated with Dr. Sapphire tells us that he had nightmares as to how it's going to be a heart surgery. It is a super specialty, and a heart surgery is not to be done in some place where it is under construction. They were worried even 20 days before. Nothing was in place, and even the machinery came just 2 days prior to the day on which it was announced to be opening. So, but he says everything fell in place just like that, as if there is some magic wand working. So that resolve to do something is definitely not human. It's a divine resolve. Behind this resolve, there is a lot of, I think nature itself starts working towards fulfilling of that resolve, because it comes out of complete pureness and complete purity and completely selflessness. So because of that, I think entire even anybody with little clear consciousness will definitely act accordingly and try and get fulfilling that target.
This is Ashok Vyas thanking our dear Ratnakarji and thanking all of you for being with us.